Hello everyone, welcome back to our class. In the previous class, we have discussed about my mother. We know the author name Abdul Kalam, APJ Abdul Kalam. In the previous class, we have finished about the author introduction and then we have finished 5 paragraphs of our chapter My Mother. We know Abdul Kalam was born on 15th October 1931 in Rameshwaram and he passed away on 27th July in 2015. We know he is a great scientist and is a former president of India. He has achieved and honored with the highest civilian award Bharat Ratna, and is a people's president and is a scientist. He worked as a teacher, he worked as a writer, he is a multifaceted person. People fondly call him Missile Man, Vishwa Guru, and many names he have. Today we are going to discuss. In the introduction, we have finished 5 paragraphs. In 5 paragraphs, he introduced about his village. At the same time, he has introduced about his mother Ashiamma and his father Jainul Abdin. Ashiamma is a devoted Muslim. She came from a Bahadur family. She is down to earth and pious, devoted woman. She used to perform 5 times namaz a day. Very pious and down to earth she is. In today's paragraph, we are going to discuss about 6th para. Let us read before we going to enter into the paragraph. During the World War II years, food was being rationed and there was a general shortage of nearly everything. My mother and grandmother did their best to tide over those days, stretching the supplies as much as they could, cutting out any wastage, often reducing the portions on their plates so that the children had enough to eat. In the 5th paragraph, Abdul Kalam has shared us about his experience, how they used to eat their regular food in banana leaf with the sambar, aromatic rasam. He has explained. At the same time, he has delivered that I am going to share you another anecdote with you. So another story he was telling, he was explaining, relating to the food in this 6th paragraph. So during the World War II, there was a food shortage. There was a food shortage in our country, so that uh, people people of India were suffered lot because of the less food availability in the society, because it is a war movement. So food was being rationed and there was a general shortage of nearly everything. They could not able to get every item in the market because food was being rationed by the government. It is a general shortage for everything for the people in India during the World War II. My mother and grandmother did their best to tide over those days. His mother used to cook for his family members. At the same time, his mother used to cook for the tourists also. So his mother and grandmother did their best to tide over those days. It means what? His mother and grandmother utilized cleverly the bad situations. They managed cleverly to overcome the bad situation, those bad circumstances during the World War II was happened. They managed cleverly. They used their portion of ration. They spent their ration cleverly to sustain the situations, to sustain the circumstances of bad situations during World War II. stretching the supplies as much they could, cutting out any wastage, often reducing the portion on their plates so that the children had enough to eat. And they reduced their portion. For example, if they used to eat 5 chapatis, because of the World War II situation, they reduced 5 chapatis to 2 chapatis so that the children can amply they can eat, they can fill their bellies because of their portion reduced in their plates. So his mother and grandmother did their best to tide over those days, and they cutting out any wastage, and they used to manage the supplies as much they could, often reducing the portion on their plates so that the children had enough to eat. One day my mother had made chapatis instead of rice. Actually, southern part of our country, the staple food of southern country people is rice. In northern side they use chapatis. So because of the lack of food, his mother was preparing chapatis instead of rice. So I sat at my place on the floor and ate with the relish as she rolled out one fresh chapati after another. I means who is I here? Abdul Kalam was sitting near to his mother. His mother was making chapatis instead of rice. Kalam was eating those chapatis with relish as his mother Ashiyamma was rolling out one fresh chapati after another. They kept coming and Abdul Kalam was eating. I was a hungry little boy after all. When I had finally had my fill, I picked up my banana leaf plate and walked away to wash up. So during the World War II days, Abdul Kalam was sitting near to his mother. Instead of rice, his mother was preparing chapatis. Her mother was making hot chapatis. One by one chapati is serving to him. He was eating one by one because he is a little hungry boy. After finishing his food, after his full of belly, he picked up his banana leaf plate and walked away to wash up. Later that night, my elder brother took me aside and scolded me for the first time. After finishing his dinner, later that night, his elder brother took Abdul Kalam aside and scolded Abdul Kalam for the first time. He was the youngest child in his family. Everybody used to love him, everybody used to pamper him, but that night he was scolded by his elder brother. He don't know why his elder brother was scolding him. How could you be so blind, Abdul? He started. At first, I had no idea why I was being pulled up. I stared uncomprehendingly at him. So after finishing his dinner, his elder brother took him away and he was scolding, how blind Abdul you are. You are very blind. You don't know the circumstances. You don't know the situation. The elder brother was scolding. Abdul Kalam was bewildered and confused. He was looking at his elder brother. He was staring at his elder brother. He don't know what is happening. Why his elder brother is scolding him. He don't know. Uncomprehendingly, he was staring at him. Uncomprehendingly means I don't know why his brother is scolding him. Then he softened and explained. His elder brother softened his voice and explained to the Abdul Kalam, did you not notice that there was just enough for all of us to eat 2-3 chapatis each? Amma will never say no to you, but because you kept eating, she kept serving you, and tonight she will go hungry because now there is nothing left for her to eat. How Blind you are, Abdul? His elder brother was scolding to the Abdul Kalam. He softened his voice and slowly he was telling what mistake Abdul Kalam was did that night. How blind, Abdul, you are. We do not have a extra food. Each of our family member able to get 2 or 3 chapatis, but you ate more than that. Continuously you're eating. Amma is not saying no, but because you kept eating, she kept serving you, and tonight she will go hungry. Because you ate extra portion, she is going to sleep hungry tonight. Because now there is nothing left for her to eat. You had her portion. You neglected. You was very blind. Because of the World War II, the situation is very bad. In our family members, able to get only 2-3 chapatis because you ate more than that, because you have eaten mother's portion, so that our mother Amma is going to sleep hungry tonight, because now there is nothing left for her to eat. Who is telling these all words to whom? Abdul Kalam's eldest brother is telling to the Abdul Kalam. That moment of shame, of heartbreak for my beloved mother who looked frail. It was toughest woman I knew, broke my heart. I cried to myself, too mortified to show my face to anyone, and it was only after a few days that I could bring myself to look her in the face again. Because of his blindness, he did not notice about his mother's hunger. By his elder brother's explanation, he come to know what mistake he has did, so that Abdul Kalam was feeling shy, and his heart was break for his beloved mother who looked frail. It was the toughest woman I know. Frail means physically weak. Because of his hungriness, his mother slept with the hungriness. She was looking frail. Yet she was frail. She is the toughest woman I knew. Broke my heart because of my blindness. I cried to myself, too mortified to show my face to anyone. I cried to myself, too mortified to show my face to anyone. Abdul Kalam was cried himself and he was mortified. Mortified means feeling or showing strong shame, embarrassment. He was feeling shy. Mortified means embarrassment and showing strong shame. He was feeling shy. He was feeling shame for his bad activity, for his blind activity. He cried himself and he mortified to show his face to anyone, and it was only after a few days that I could bring myself to look her in the face again. After few days back, he himself bring to look her in the face again. What a lesson that was for me to never forget the needs of those around me. From that day onwards, I started inquiring about the needs of surrounded with me. What a lesson that was for me to never forget the needs of those around me. Her love drove her to share her food with me without a second thought, and after my brother showed me the truth, I could never again eat without making sure there was enough to go around, especially for my mother and grandmother. His brother taught him a good lesson. His brother taught him a truth. From that day onwards, he started inquiring whether there is enough food for everyone. He started inquiring. From that day onwards, he could never again eat without making sure there was enough food to go around, especially for his mother and grandmother. Go for the eighth paragraph. What is the meaning of frail? Physically weak. Mortified means feeling or showing shame, strong shame, embarrassment. Okay, feeling shy. Shall we go for the eighth paragraph? Okay, I am going to start the eighth paragraph. I left home fairly early in life as I wanted to pursue my studies in a different and larger town. As a result, I could not remain my mother's little boy for too long. Unlike many of my friends, but her generosity and caring spirit stayed in my heart always. Abdul Kalam left Rameshwaram at the early age. He could not stay with his mother, he could not stay with his parents in his village because to pursue his higher education, he traveled to the different cities and large towns to complete his education. And he could not remain with his mother as a loving little boy for long time. Unlike many of my friends, his friends used to stay in their village and they used to loved by their parents. But at the early age, our Abdul Kalam left his village, so he was but her generosity and caring spirit stayed in my heart always. Ashiamma's generosity and caring character spirit stayed in his heart, Abdul Kalam's heart always. So in the eighth paragraph, Abdul Kalam is telling that he left his village at the early age. He could not able to spend much time with his mother. In spite, he was telling that her generosity, Ashiamma's generosity and caring spirit stayed in his heart always. Again, during the World War II years, when I was about 8 years old, I took the job of newspaper delivery boy. My day began well before dawn when I had to go for my tuition, my Quran classes, do my newspaper rounds, go to school, and then return home well into the evening. So during the World War II years, the situation was very bad all over the country. So to support his family's meager income, Abdul Kalam started selling at the age of 8 years, started selling newspaper at the 8-year old to support his family's meager income. He took the job of newspaper delivery boy. He used to wake up in the early hours before the dawn comes, before the sun rises. He used to wake up and used to sell the newspaper. He worked as a newspaper delivery boy. When I had to go for my tuitions, my Quran classes, do my newspaper rounds, go to school and then return home well into the evening. He was very busy from morning to the evening. After selling the newspaper, he has to attend the tuition classes, and then after he has to go for the Quran classes and he has to attend the school. In the evening hours, he come back home. When I had to study for the next day, in all this, my mother stood by me like a rock. Early in the morning, she would wake up well before me and get the water ready for my bath and then call me. So his mother is going to support him. He was standing like a rock beside him, and Ashiamma used to wake up in the morning. She would wake up in the morning and she makes a hot water for him for his bath and then call him to wake up to had his bath. Before Abdul Kalam wakes up, Ashiamma wake up well before him, and make the hot water ready for him, and then he calls the Abdul Kalam to do his bath. My mother saw me off and would be waiting for me to come back an hour or two later, when I would have to go with my father to Arabic school for my Holy Quran lessons. So Ashyama used to take care about his Abdul Kalam's activity because he is a young boy in the family and he was very busy from the morning onwards to the evening. He used to be busy with many activities. Used to sell the newspaper. He worked as a newspaper delivery boy, and then after he has to attend the tuition classes and Quran classes. He has to attend the school in the evening hours. He come back to home. His mother was waiting for him to serve the tiffin or lunch with a caring personality. His mother used to Sami off. His Abdul Kalam's mother Ashyama used to look at him whatever the requirement he needed. She used to take care about all his requirements. He used to attend the Quran classes. He used to learn the Arabic Holy Quran lessons. He used to attend the Quran lessons with his father. As I went from place to place during the daytime, all I had time for were the meals that would be laid out for me promptly. I knew that many times my mother reduced her own share so that I could have enough. When I once questioned her, she only smiled and said, "You are a growing child. You have so much to do all through a day. This is what mother look out for. Don't worry about me." In the evening, when I returned home hungry and tired, she would again help me clean up and prepare for the next day. So during World War II, Abdul Kalam used to sell the newspaper and he used to attend the tuition classes and he used to attend the Quran classes. So he was very busy. His mother supported him. His mother Ashyamma stood like a rock behind him, and she used to attend all his requirements. And many times Ashyamma reduced her portion and served whatever the portion to the Abdul Kalam. One day Abdul Kalam questioned Ashyamma, "Why are you serving your portion to me?" So she only smiled and said with Abdul Kalam that you are a growing child, you have so much to do all through the day and you required more energy. That's why I am providing my portion of food to you. This is what mother look out for. Don't worry about me. In the evening when I return home hungry and tired, she would again help me to clean up and prepare for the next day. When he returned back home with the hungriness and tiredness, Ashyamma would again go to him and help him to clean up and prepare for the next day. Let us discuss 10th paragraph. Among all my siblings, I was always given priority in taking place by her. Once I remember, I fell asleep with my head in her lap. She sat quietly, her hand softly caressing my hair and cheeks. Her touch the most precious balm for my tiredness, unknown to me from somewhere deep within. Tears sprung up in my heart. Before I could stop them, they started flowing down. My eyes were still closed. As the tears ran, they dropped on my folded knees and spread into my mother's sari. So among all his brothers, siblings means brothers or sisters. Among all his brothers and sisters, Abdul Kalam always given a importance and priority in taking place by her. Her means by Ashyamma. Because he is the youngest child in his family, so he was given more priority than his siblings. Once Abdul Kalam was remembering When he returned back from his the daily activity, when he returned back home in the evening, he fell asleep with his mother. He kept his head in her lap and she sat quietly, her hands softly caressing. When one day, when Mother Abdul Kalam returned from his activity in the evening, he was feeling very tired and he was hungry and he was feeling sleepy, so that he kept his head in his mother's lap. She sat quietly, her hands softly caressing my hair and cheeks. So gently, Ashyama was touching his hairs. Caressing means a gentle touch. Okay, how our mother pampers our hair, how our mother touches our cheeks when we slept in her lap. So Ashyama was softly with her hands caressing his hair and cheeks, had touched the most precious balm for his tiredness. When her mother Ashyama touched his head and his cheeks and his forehead, whatever the tiredness, whatever the weakness he was feeling, everything was gone. It is a precious balm. Okay, when you feel tired, when you feel alone, go and spend time with the mother. She is the most precious balm. She is the most precious thing in the universe. She resolves all your problem. When you feel alone, when you feel tired, when you feel bored, go and spend time with your mother. She is the precious balm. Jendu balm and tiger balm will not work. When your mother touches gently, when your mother caresses your hair and cheeks gently, everything is going to be vanished. Everything going to be recovered. That is the power is there. Such kind of power is there in our mother. She is the precious balm for my tiredness. She is the precious balm. Our mother is a precious balm for our tiredness also. Once try it, you come to know whether that is a precious balm or not. Okay? When he was kept his head in his mother's lap, suddenly his tears are sprung up from his heart. The tears are coming. He could not able to stop them, following one by one from his tears. He closed his eyes, yet the tears ran. They dropped one to my folded knees and seeped into my mother's. When he kept his head in his mother's lap, the tears are coming one by one. He closed his eyes tightly and he could not able to stop his tears. And the tears dropped onto his folded knees. From folded knees to that tears seeped into his mother's sari. Okay, seeped means spreading, going into his mother's sari. But she did not stop her caresses. When the happy cries, when tears are coming from his Abdul Kalam, her mother did not stop her caresses, did not stop gentle touch. She knew exactly what was giving rise to those tears. The extreme tiredness of a boy suddenly trying to be a man. Her fingers ran tenderly through my hair, comforting and soothing and understanding. Inspired the tears is coming, her mother Ashyama did not stop caressing, and her fingers ran tenderly into his hair and comforting and soothing and understanding his tiredness. So next time, if you feel tired or if you feel alone, go and spend time with your mother. Keep your head into your mother's lap. That will heal your all problems. Do you agree with me or not? Yes, I do this. Yes. She is the precious bomb. She is the most beautiful and loving friend in the universe. This simple lady, born and raised in a small southern Indian town, was perhaps like many other mothers in our land and beyond. She did not step out of the house and take part in the affairs of the town. My mother hailed, raised from a small southern Indian town. She is a down to earth and she is a pious woman. She did not step out of the house and take part in the affairs of the town. She used to spend a lot of time for his family members. She don't have a time to spend in the social affairs or society affairs. She did not make a career in the way we think of it nowadays. Nowadays, people are very busy. They are giving importance for their career. They are not caring about their family members. Everybody is caring about themselves. Everybody giving importance for their career. So, but Ashiyamma did not give any importance for her career, and she did not involved in the society affairs. Her realm of work remained the home and the family. So her realm means area of interest. Her interest remained with the family members. Her interest remained with the home only. Yet within that she served everyone and God with utmost devotion, selflessness and piety. With the selfishness, he served her family members and tourists. She treated like a god with utmost everyone and God with utmost devotion. She used to serve the God, she used to serve the family members with the utmost devotion, with the selflessness and piety. Selflessness means selflessness means selfishness. Without selfish, she used to serve the people. She used to spend the time with the family members. Her realm of interest is her family and home. It is this lesson that I have carried from her life, that it does not matter how large or small your sphere of activity is, what counts finally is the commitment that you bring to the job that has been ordained for you in this life. I learned a great lesson from my mother. She used to serve the family members and God with the utmost devotion and selflessness and piety. So, whether it is a small work or whether it is a big work, you should serve with the utmost devotion, utmost interest. At the end, what counts finally is the commitment that counts, that you bring to the job. That is the commitment you are showing towards the job that will bring you in a good position, that will achieve you, that will make you proud in the society. Whatever the work you do that work with utmost devotion. That will bring you success. There is no big work and small work. Whether it is a small work or big work, do it with the devotion. That commitment that you bring to the job that has been ordained for you in the life, that makes your life very good, that will help you to reach your goals. My father lived to the age of 102. His father, what is his father name? Jainul Abdin. He lived up to the age of 102. Is it possible today, these days? No, it is not possible. But because of a disciplined life, he is a very devotional person and disciplined person, so that's why he survived up to the 1 or 2 years. When he passed away, he left behind a family that included 15 grandchildren. When he passed away, his family members consisted with 15 grandchildren. His passing away affected me deeply. When he passed away, with his father's loss, Abdul Kalam felt very sad. It affected him deeply. Abdul Kalam came home from his work at Tumba and sat by his mother for a long time. When he as when he lost his father, he came from his work. He was working at the Tumba. He sat beside his mother for a long time. When I had to leave, she blessed me in a choked voice. After completion of the last funeral rites, he has to go back to his work. So when he was leaving his mother, Ashyamma blessed him in a choked voice. Choked voice means uh, choked voice means Gadgara Saramto Telugulo. In Telugu, what we call it, Gadgara Swaramto, Badato, with the saddened voice, she has blessed Abdul Kalam. I was in the thick of building the SLV-3 rocket. Abdul Kalam was working at Tumba as a scientist in the building of the SLV-3 rocket. He was very busy of building SLV-3 rocket. And work beckoned me. Beacon means summon or signal, typically with wave. His work, his SLV-3 work, SLV-3 rocket was uh, calling, SLV rocket was signaling, giving wave. So he left his village so early. I was in the thick of building SLV-3 rocket and work beckoned me. Work was calling me. Work was waved me. She never once asked me to stay back. At that circumstances, at that bad situation, Ashyamma did not ask Abdul Kalam to stay in Rameshwaram. Should I have done so? Should I not have been so preoccupied with my work and instead spend time with this old lady who I was never to see again? In that circumstances, if my mother Ashyamma forced me to stay there, I could not have become a great scientist. I could not have become a missile man. Instead, she did not force me to stay there. She encouraged me to do my work. I was never see again. I have asked myself this and do not have an answer. My mother passed away soon after my father died. It was perhaps fitting that she would not live alone without the man whose side she had never left for over 80 years. His father Jainul Abdin lived up to the age of 1 or 2. Her mother Ashyamma lived up to the age of 80 years after his father's death. She also left early. She could not able to fit in this society. She could not able to live alone after his soulmate lost. So she also left early after his father's death. After I received the news of her passing away, as I made my way to Rameshwaram, memories of her assailed me. The two people who had created me not just as their child, but molded my thoughts and personality were now no more. After I received the news of her passing away, after the receiving the news of his mother's death, he started going back to the Rameshwaram. He made his way to the Rameshwaram. Memories of his mother assailed him. Assailed means disturbed. came upon suddenly and strongly. His mother's memories, whatever the memories he had in his childhood, assailed him, strongly coming into his mind, disturbed her memories. The two people, Zainul and Ashiamma, had created Abdul Kalam not just as their child, but molded his thoughts and personality were now no more. Whatever the personality we are seeing Abdul Kalam, that was created by his parents, but the parents was no more. I would have to live out the rest of my life without their guidance. From now onwards, my parents are no more. They are molded me. They taught me many lessons in my life. What I am today because of my parents only, but from today onwards, they are no more. I would have to live out the rest of my life without their guidance. But I knew one I could not have lived long without the other, and that is what comforted me as I returned to the mosque where I had learnt to pray with my father. The azan from the mosque once used to bring all of us together, our parents leading all the children in the prayers. Now it is a sweet reminder of a beautiful childhood, of parents lost to time, of a mother who understood her boy's deepest feelings even if they remained buried in his heart. So, whatever the personality he was having, that was created, that was taught by his parents, but their parents were no more, he has to live his rest of life without their guidance, Abdul Kalam was telling. And Abdul Kalam was collecting his memory while he was performing azan in the mosque. He learnt how to perform namaz. He learnt in that mosque with his family members while he was performing azan, while he was performing namaz. He was collected. He was connected with his father and he was connected with his mother's thought. Now it is a sweet reminder of beautiful childhood, of parents lost to time, of a mother who understood her boy's deepest. Our parents understood us very much compared to our friends, compared to our something. Our mother and our father will understood us very much. They can understand our deepest feelings, even if they remain buried in his heart. Okay, so please respect your parents. They are the creator of our life. Whatever the life we are leading because of their sacrifices only. Please do follow your parents' guidelines and respect your parents. This is about our chapter My Mother, written by APJ Abdul Kalam. So I hope from today onwards you are going to respect your parents and you have to listen your parents. They know your deepest feelings. They know what you need. They're sacrificing their life. They're sacrificing their time for your future. So don't neglect your parents. Respect your parents. Thank you all. We'll meet in the next class with another topic.